So, hey Sagittarius, welcome to your beautiful reading for whenever you find it. It's not time specific, it's not necessarily sign specific, but it's definitely for Sagittarius. So, welcome. I'm not doing the Celtic cross, by the way, I'm just dealing some cards. There's the Nine of Wands again. We've seen this before, I think in the Capricorn reading. By the way, check out your sun sign, your ascendant, and your moon sign. That's how you get the full picture. There's Justice. The Magician, you're making something happen. Let's just... There's the Ten of Cups, beautiful energy. Combination with Justice, there's work to do. And what else we got? The Seven of Wands. 6, 4 more. 5 of Cups energy. Then there's the Page of Swords, Page of Cups, and let's just take the Star card in the center. And bottom of the deck is the wonderful Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is all about self-love, respecting yourself, truly being yourself a friend, right? What we got here on the table is pretty much, looks pretty good, right? Looks very, very good. Justice is here, the Ten of Cups is here. Justice, Ten of Cups, the Star card. This looks really, really good. So the universe is basically saying, whatever happened, and something happened, right? Something did happen. Past energy with the Five of Cups, with the Wounded Warrior, that's the Nine of Wands. So a few cups got spilled, something went wrong in the past. I mean, if you're resonating with this channel, maybe it has been narcissistic abuse in the last 2 years, right? So you might still be recovering from that. But you know what? I think it's time to move on. You definitively stood your ground, or you're standing your ground. There's this temptation to lower your frequency, right? So let's just unpack this. Justice is coming, that's the good news. You're making it happen. You are making it happen. There's the Ten of Cups, Fortune after difficulty, and the Star card, wish fulfilled from the universe. But I feel like you're totally making it happen yourself with the Magician here in the center. You got the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups, so you're following your an unexpected path, basically, right? So maybe you have done just everything you thought was the right thing to do. Maybe you were very Capricorn energy, Pluto and Capricorn energy, right? The year since 2000, from 2008 onwards. It ended last year, thank God. So it's no longer so much about checking boxes and being just super reasonable and, you know, doing this and that, what looks great on your CV and things like that. That's not the time anymore. This is more about coming back to yourself in happiness, in joy. Ten of Cups, very strong, fortune after difficulty. And the Star card, you really deserve this. And you deserve this, that's super emphasized here with the Justice card as well, right? And you got what it takes, but it's kind of the unexpected way, the unexpected thing to do. So you might have done something. By the way, you should work on that unexpected thing. You might have done something that is totally reasonable and totally, you know, how you do things, you know, or how you thought you should do things, right? There's perfectionism, there is just checking boxes, getting the degree, doing the extra work, you know, showing up, doing overtime, you know, being kind of the overachiever, right? In some planned way. And the Page of Cups is basically reminding you there's something else that brings you joy and happiness that might not look good on your CV, right? But it's very important that you give it loving attention, that you put in some work in that unexpected way, where your passion is, where your heart is, whatever brings you joy and happiness, what is important to you. Let's just put the Page of Swords here to the other cards. So you're going to make something happen, and you're going to make it happen. First of all, there's work to do, but there's joyful work to do, not dreadful work, not just going back to the old, whatever the old was, checking boxes, being super reasonable, doing what you thought is expected of you. That kind of failed, right? There's work to do, but do it joyfully, do it meaningfully. You don't need much. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be recognized. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. That is very important here. You're not going for recognition. You're going for happiness, joy, fortune after difficulty. That's the rainbow with the 10 of Cups, a happy home, peace, inner peace, happiness. That's what you're going for. And the universe is basically saying you can have that. And the question is how you can have that. There's justice here, so you totally deserve this. Just these 3 cards here, it's a very good reading, right? Fortune after difficulty, you deserve it. The universe wants to give you that. And what is it? It is joy. It is happiness. It is not grandiosity, not, recognition, things like that. Just doing what you love to do by all means. And there's work in it, right? So you can do what you love. I love to do these readings, but I have to, record them. I have to edit them. I have to upload them, right? So there's work in it. But overall, that's what I love to do, right? So I'm doing that. Even if it's not the super career move, we're 167 people, I guess, at this time. So it's a freaking small channel, but I'm doing it anyway. Why? Because I just love to do it, right? Ace of Cups here. Do what you love. Be yourself a friend. What brings you happiness? What brings you joy? The universe really wants to make something happen here. There's work involved, but good work, happy, joyful work. And then you're kind of making it happen just by focusing on what is not reasonable, but what makes sense in a heart space frequency. What brings you joy? So there is something went wrong in the past. So there were 3 cups spilled, right? 5 cups, 3 cups got spilled. One cup was poisoned. That's very important. A very important story about the 5 of Cups here. So you lost something, right? 5 cups, you had 5 cups. That's a lot of cups, right? But 3 cups got spilled. 1 was poisoned though. So you're mourning these 3 cups, and that's just it's 5 of Cups is always a reminder that there was something toxic that you had at hand or had created for yourself. So the universe built these 3 cups, but 1 was poisoned. Very, very important. So do not mourn 5 cups. First of all, 2 cups are still standing. 2 cups are down, but the 3rd cup that is down was actually poisoned. So thank God you didn't drink from that cup too long, at least, right? So think about the past few years. What was toxic? What did you lose? But is there some toxicity in what you have lost during the last few years? You stood your ground, but you kind of try to defend yourself. There's a lot of defensiveness here, standing your ground with the Seven of Wands. Then there's the Page of Swords, kind of expecting. There's a little bit of hypervigilance, right? And then, of course, the Wounded Warrior with the Nine of Wands. So whatever happened here kind of made you a little cautious, made you trying to protect yourself, trying to hide yourself. You were feeling like you had to stand your ground, and probably you had to stand your ground, but you're coming out of this not naively. So whatever scared you, whatever shocked you, traumatized you, whatever made you into this Wounded Warrior energy, it is time to move on from that. And why? Because you owe it to yourself. Ace of Cups, self-love, be yourself a friend. Whatever you lost, there's something better. First of all, what is left is enough. That's what I'm hearing. And, you know, good riddance. You might have been on a path that was not right for you. So the universe tried to, you know, show you the way. And the universe has this strange approach sometimes where it just shows a few cups apart, right? Or over. And that's a shock. And that kind of brought you into this Wounded Warrior energy. You're coming out of this, and you're coming out of this with in the energy of the Page of Swords, basically. You're no longer naive, you got burned, and you learned something from it. So you know how to stand your ground. And by the way you stand your ground is not to defend, not to explain, not to engage at all with narcissistic, toxic people, and certainly not personalize. So there are toxic people, there are narcissists in this world. They are just toxic, right? And they are toxic to whoever they can find who is going to entertain their BS. So maybe you had to deal with narcissistic, toxic, antagonistic people. Do not defend, do not engage, do not explain, do not personalize. You have the high ground here, and you're coming out of this wiser and kind of awake, you know? That's the Page of Swords. Very much awake, and the smart thing to do is to take what is left and make the best out of it. What else can we do, right? So 2 cups are still standing, and at least one of these cups is totally connected to your joy, to your happiness, and maybe you didn't give that cup enough attention in the past. So now is the time to really focus on what you love and give that more energy. Maybe you have to have a job to pay the bills, right? But even if you have to pay the job, have to pay the bills and, you know, work in a job that is not 100% like what you want to do, you can use your free time to focus all of your attention on what you want to create, whether it's art, whether it's pictures, paintings, could be artwork, it could be, you know, it could be science, it could be a field of interest, it could be a hobby, it could be a relationship. Don't make it so much about relationships. Just do something that brings you joy repeatedly. And there's some work connected to this. So maybe it's a new job, maybe it's a new passion, but whatever it is, it brings you happiness. And you totally deserve this. 10 of Cups, Justice card, the Star card. And you're making it happen by just doing what you love. Give that more loving attention. You're coming out of this difficult time as the King of Cups, so the king of your emotions. You're not easily triggered by narcissistic people. You're not taking the bait. Yeah, there's the narcissist of the tarot deck, right? And it's kind of the clarifier it's kind of here in between the Page of Swords and the Seven of Wands. So you know that there are toxic people in this world, right? You have learned a few things in the last few years. So now it's time to apply it, not be naive, and you're totally not naive, not showing up as naive here with the Page of Swords. Stand your ground. The best way to stand your ground in a narcissistic, infested world is not to jump down into the mud with the pigs. Never ever do that. Never ever get triggered. Never ever get emotional if somebody is trying to trigger you. You just keep your frequency up and you focus on what you want to create in your life, and all the BS of toxic people, disengage with it. Do not defend, do not explain, do not, do not defend, do not explain, do not personalize, and I forgot something. But you get the idea. Do not jump down into the pigs with the mud. Never forget there are toxic people in this world, and they just want to destroy stuff. They want to put people down. To know that is to be wise, and you don't need to be hyper vigilant about it, but you definitely need to be aware of it. And whenever you encounter someone where your intuition tells you, oh, no, that's nobody I want in my life, then trust that intuition. And again, do not let anybody toxic, antagonistic, narcissistic into your life. That's the foundation here. I mean, I'm talking so much about this foundation because probably it refers to the last 10 years where you probably had a lot to do with narcissistic abuse and stuff like that, like most of decent people. But now is the time. This time is over and you learn something. Do not forget the lesson. The biggest lesson of them all is self-love, being yourself a friend, having healthy boundaries, not just communicating these boundaries, but enforcing these boundaries. You have to be you have to be a friend to yourself, right? And you have to be able to cause some discomfort if somebody oversteps your boundaries. Narcissists don't care if you tell them, oh, don't overstep my boundaries, right? They do it anyway. And the more you explain to them, you should never explain. State your truth, right? State what you want, what you don't want. And if somebody disrespects that, creates some discomfort, and get them out of your life, right? Don't even let them in. Joyful creation with the Queen of Wands, and I'm putting this between the Eight of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. Again, this emphasizes here with the Magician. The way you stand up for yourself is to concentrate on what makes you happy. Concentrate on what you want to create. Do not allow your attention to be focused on toxic people or toxicity in general. Joyful creation. Here's the Magician again. Yeah, you're making it happen, and you're coming. Yeah, the Ten of Cups is fortune after difficulty, right? So you've been through a lot, actually, but you're coming out of this and you're getting something. And what you're getting is not the Ten of Pentacles. It's not huge wealth and, a new Porsche or whatever. It's joy, it's happiness, it's doing what you love, and a happy home, inner peace, self-respect, self-love. That's how you're coming out of this. And there's the Eight of Wands at the bottom of the Clarifier deck. So very supportive energy. And let's not forget the Star card and the Justice card for your Dark Night of the Soul. And there is the Five of Pentacles, which is definitely Dark Night of the Soul energy. Enlightenment, right? You're getting something out of it. The universe has not forgotten your struggle and your integrity, I would say, right? 12, that's enlightenment. Liberation. There's no need to hide behind a persona that you think others will find more acceptable. The real you is far more beautiful. You are not your personality, not your job, not your qualifications or achievements, right? It's exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're not your job, you're not your achievements. You don't need to be everybody's darling. You just need to be your own darling. You need to be your own friend. You have to love yourself. Be yourself a friend. And, you know, life is short. So joyful creation, what makes sense to you, give that more loving attention. And this is how you glide into happiness, and you totally deserve this. The universe wants you to be happy and to really, you know, no grandiosity, but just good old happiness, right? The real you is far more beautiful. You are not your personality, not your job, qualifications, or achievements. You are not your successes or failures or any other earthly thing. Who you are is far more noble and precious than anything you can possibly imagine. I'm as bad as the worst, but thank God I'm as good as the best. Walt Whitman. So enlightenment. And I'm putting enlightenment down here to the bottom row, because all of that, 5 of Cups, 9 of Wands, 7 of Wands, Page of Swords energy, clarified by, you know, the narcissist of the tarot deck is here, and you are showing up as the King of Cups. So you really went through the fire. That's how it seems. Last few years, what happened? Drop me a comment if you like. You're getting out of it, and how you get out of it? Joyful creation. Focus on happiness. Justice will come, right? Justice will come, but justice is your happiness. You being happy, that is the justice that you can expect. Do not try to play, you know, karma or something like that. So you don't have to punish the narcissist. You don't have to punish the toxic people. They will get their karma. So you focus on your happiness, on your joy, and let the universe take care of all these toxic people. And karma will take care of it. There's divine justice here, but you don't have to, you know, do not go for revenge. Do not go for, oh, I have to give them something back, or I have to teach them. No, you know, you don't teach a narcissist anything. That's like reading poems to a alligator or something. Like, that's not going to impress these creatures, right? So don't read poems to alligators. You write the poems that are meaningful to you. You draw the pictures or paintings or whatever, and make yourself happy with it, whatever it is. Sing your own song, be yourself. And do not care about what others, you know, make yourself happy, and justice will come, and justice is your happiness. You being happy, that's justice. That's what you deserve. And the others will get what they deserve. But you deserve happiness, and you don't need to make it happen that they get what they deserve, right? The universe will take care of that. Karma is going to take care of that. You focus all of your attention not on being the vigilante, not going for revenge, not educating people, not talking to them or anything, right? That's not going to work. You focus, you get your justice, not your revenge, your justice, by focusing on your happiness, because that's what you deserve. So number 12, sing your own song. Where is it? Canary Spirit. Canary Spirit arrives to help you find your authentic voice and express what is in your heart. Free yourself to experience your inner light and let it shine, as Canary Spirit sings to remind you of your inherent joy and to support you as you sing your own song. Now's the time to let the world know who you really are. Canary Spirit message is that you are free to be yourself and express your most cherished desires. The world wants to hear your song. If your inquiry is about a relationship, you're being called to fully be yourself. For only then will you find harmony and joy. You can make music with others so beautifully when your note rings true. Okay? So just don't dim your light and be the best version of yourself. Concentrate on your own joy, not on revenge. You know, there's justice here, and justice clarified by the Five of Pentacles means that 5 of Cups, 7 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles. So there was some a-hole in your life, or maybe a few, right? Yeah. Don't be like them. Observe what you dislike in others. Seek those traits in yourself and then learn them. This is how you nurture self-love, not becoming like them. Yeah. And they might hate you, right? They might, but if you hate a person, you hate something in him that is part of yourself. What isn't part of ourselves doesn't disturb us. That's Hermann Hesse. Yeah, you know, focus on. You got beautiful stuff to do. Okay, let's just. There is one message coming through. I didn't want it, but I shuffled the cards again, and there it is again. So, if somebody needs to hear that, I talked so much about justice. I talked so much about narcissistic abuse here in the bottom row. That's for sure. You're coming out of it. Self-love, you owe it to yourself to focus your attention lovingly, caringly on your highest expression. Joyful creation that brings you happiness, and your happiness is what you deserve. What the others deserve, the universe will take care of. And there's this quote. There was another one in that same frequency. I thought, oh, that's pretty heavy. Let's just shuffle again. And then another even heavier quote comes up. So I'm going to read it to you, and this is for someone out there. It's Johnny Cash, right? As sure as God made black and white, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. And you don't have to bring it to the light. You did enough. Focus on your joy and happiness. You did enough. Very, very important message here. You did enough. You don't need to take care. You know, you take care of your own happiness. That's the message here, and I hope it resonates with you, and if it does, share, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it, and hopefully see you next time. Now, Ptaya, my friend, if you like, check out the yearly reading or the spring reading, and hopefully see you next time. Now, Ptaya, ciao.